Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cashback. Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of a brand new series here on the channel. It's Inter Milan. It's time to try and awaken a sleeping giant in Italy, underperforming for the past few years. Hell of a lot of history, hell of a lot of pedigree. They need to be better. Of course, you guys voted on what you would like to see next on the channel. And to be fair, the vote was split 50-50 pretty much between an Inter Milan career mode and an RTG career mode, similar to that we just finished with Cambridge United. Made the decision to go with Inter based on the fact that 50% wanted Inter specifically, 50% wanted an RTG. Some were wanting something in France, some were wanting something in Spain, some were wanting something in Germany, some were wanting something in Italy. So the specific RTG would have been a smaller audience because there might have been some that wanted a different RTG and wouldn't watch that one. Been some that wanted one in a different country and didn't want this one. So I went with, the block of 50% that said they definitely wanted an Inter Milan career mode. So we're here at Inter. The series will probably be only 2, maybe 3 seasons, depending on what we can achieve. What I would like to know, first off the bat, is would you like me to use sliders in this series? We're playing on Ultimate, but would you like me to make it slightly more difficult with some slider settings? Or maybe in this first season, we just see how we go, and then if it is slightly too easy, then we can make it more challenging with sliders. It's up to you. We haven't yet needed sliders in a series, so we'll wait and see how things progress in this first season at Inter, then we can perhaps make a decision from there. Now, the squad is actually quite small here at Inter Milan. The starting lineup looks very strong, but there are certainly areas of improvement that could be built upon. Up top, Mauro Icardi obviously going to lead the way. With regards to the backup, we have Lautaro Martinez, who they've just brought in for this season. Great potential. We don't need a striker, I don't think. They brought in Razvan Angolan from Roma. Now, I'm not sure whether to play him at centre mid or at cam where he starts by default. I genuinely am not sure. Obviously, he's great in the tackle and not amazing in the pass with 84 short pass, 81 long pass. So I'm kind of perhaps leaning towards playing him slightly deeper and looking for a different player to play in that cam role. You can see here, the squad really isn't that big at all. And a number of the players we have here, 3 of the players, are actually goalkeepers. So obviously they're not going to get a look in really with regards to the first team. And I don't really have any quality in depth either. So I'm certainly going to need a central midfielder. Whether that be a CDM to come in here to start ahead of Vicino or Brozovic, or a cam to start ahead of Vicino or Brozovic with Nangolan dropping to a deeper role. It's up to you guys. I'll start Nangolan at cam for now. That's where he was by default. And for today's opening episode, where we'll work our way through pre-season, we'll see if we can get some decent results with Nangolan slightly further forward. Maybe it could be a bit of a goal threat. On the left, we've Ivan Perisic. It's the obvious player to play there. He's 29 though. It's a very old squad, or an aging squad here at Milan. We do have Balde Keita as a backup winger on either side. So there is an option there, and on the right-hand side, Candreva is certainly getting on a bit now, 31 years of age. Basically, a number of these players, the stats are going to start to drop because it's career mode. So I'm certainly going to be looking to sign a new winger as well. I do have Joao Mario I could potentially play in that cam role, but he's not amazing. He's only 25, but his stats really aren't that incredible, to be completely honest. So I would perhaps be open to certainly I'm open to bringing in another central midfielder, but whether that be a CDM or a cam is up to you guys. On the right-hand side, we start with Politano, who actually I'm quite excited to use. He looks like he's going to be pretty decent. Not that strong, but quite quick, good agility and balance, and then technically he's not too bad either. So I'm expecting him to be quite good, hopefully. 4-star, 4-star as well. Can play on either side of the midfield. 82 rated, hoping that he can grow quite a bit. Really looking forward to using him. Centre-back, Skriniar and Tefri will be the go-tos, obviously. We do have Miranda, who's 84 rated as well, although he is 33. So I'm expecting his stats to drop. And then we've Ranocchia, who's also 30 years of age. And, well, slow, I think is the word. 31 acceleration, 39 sprint speed, 31 balance as well. Not liking the look of him. So I perhaps would be looking for another centre-back as well. With regards wing-back, we have Visalko on loan. And then Kwadwo Samoa, who is 29 now, isn't amazing, but is probably good enough to start at left back for now. We have Cedric also on loan from Southampton as a wing back. And then D'Ambrosio, who also 29 years of age, is getting on a bit, doesn't look too amazing. And then with Dalbert, who's quick, but not necessarily that good in the tackle, but 24 years of age, could be trained and could hopefully grow a little bit. So looking for perhaps a wing back as well. We've Marola as a backup striker, although he's pretty dead, to be completely honest. And then, like I say, in midfield, we've the elderly Borja Valero at 33, looking still okay technically, great passing, but not really good at anything else. Then physically pretty dead as well. So it's an aging squad here that needs to be gutted, really. And then a number of new players brought in. So we are looking for a central midfielder, perhaps a centre-back as well, probably a centre-back as well, and a wing-back or two. Perhaps we could hold off on the wing-back for next season when Vasalko and Cedric go back to their respective clubs, so we could perhaps spend a little bit more in the other positions where we're looking to strengthen at this moment in time. Handanovic obviously is going to be incredible in goals, so we don't need to worry about that particular position. I have added a couple of players to the transfer and or loan list. We do have a few players out on loan. Radu is out on loan. I can't sort by their loan status, unfortunately, but I'll just sort by position. So you can see Radu's out on loan. He's 72 rated. We have a number of young centre-backs out on loan currently. Van Huysden, 73 rated, is out on loan at Standard Liège. And then Gravion is at Pescara. We have Bastoni at Parma. We have DeMarco, a left-back, also on loan at Parma. Karamo, young winger that could grow quite well, actually. I'd be tempted to maybe call him back from loan and use him. But I'm not sure whether he'd be better suited getting first-team football for a full season at Bordeaux to then maybe use him next year. We'll wait and see what you guys think. Emma's in midfield as well, Chan Emma's. And then Christian Ansaldi as a left mid. Can play at left back as well, but his stats are dropping. He's 77 rated now, will probably be pretty unusable by the time we get him back. With Axel Bakayoko as a right winger. Doesn't look too impressive though at 62 rated and 20 years of age. And then at striker with Samuele Longo, who again unsure about him at 26 years of age and 72 rated. With Mane at striker as well, 21, only 69. And then Pinamonti, who looks like he's going to be that kind of stereotypical physical lump up top that not necessarily suit my style of play. So there's plenty to be done in this squad. We do have some funds to do that though. £63.2 million is available to us, with upwards of £8 million available via the pre-season tournament. I currently only have Tommaso Berni on the transfer list and then Raffaele Di Gennaro on the loan list. So not much to be raised via sales at this stage. What the board would want from me, development-wise, they'd like a youth player from sales within, or sorry, make profit from a youth player via sales of £2.65 million in the opening 2 seasons. That should be pretty comfortable to achieve. I don't have any more Scout Future Star options available via my EA Sports Football Club, so we can't use the Scout Future Star. So if we want to use youth prospects, I am going to have to utilise some high-end scouts. We do have the option to make some money via shirt sales. 132 million is what they want brand exposure-wise. It's important to them, and that should certainly be quite comfortably achievable. They want me to finish the season with a profit of 26.4 million, which I'm not sure whether we'll be able to do, considering the squad needs so much work doing to it. Domestic success, they want me to reach the semi-final of the Coppa Nazionale, the Coppa Italia. They'd like me to finish in a Champions League spot in the league. We hopefully will be able to do that. And within 2 seasons, they want a Serie A win. I'm not sure whether we can do that within 2. It might take 3. Continental success as well. They want me to reach the final of the Champions League with a squad that old and that lacking in depth and lacking in quality in that depth. I don't think it's going to be that successful a first season. We've a very difficult Champions League group as well, with Spurs, Barcelona and PSV. It's not going to be easy whatsoever. We'll work our way through pre-season tournament in today's episode, see if we can raise as much money as possible, and then tomorrow we'll get cracking with the start of the season, and then I can of course take on board your suggestions with regards players to bring in. We don't have any youth scouts whatsoever to start off with, so I am going to go out and hire a couple of the best ones available to me, and indeed we can sign 3 that are very, very good. Has dropped my transfer budget down by about 6 to 7 million though, but I'll send these guys out. I'm not sure where to look. To be fair, I'm quite open to pretty much anything at this stage. Say 9 months. I'll lean towards physically strong, because we're going to need players that can make an impact sooner rather than later. So we're going to need players that have the physicality, and then we can quickly train their credentials. I'll send this guy to Germany, and again we'll look for physically strong. And then actually going to send Bosko Market to Croatia itself, and hopefully he'll be able to come up with some decent Croatian players. Obviously they've had Marin Mandzukic at Inter Milan in recent years. There's been Ivan Rakitic was at Inter Milan. They've had a couple of others come through the works as well. Of course, we currently got Vasalko here too, albeit only on loan. Perisic is here as well. So they do have a history of having the odd Croatian player at Inter Milan. So we'll hopefully have the opportunity to bring in someone else from Croatia there and keep that run going. But let's advance a little bit further forward. This should be a group we can get through with Bournemouth, Leverkusen and Real Sociedad. So I'm hoping to raise the maximum £8 million from this pre-season tournament. And a transfer offer here for Borja Valero, who is a player I would be open to letting go at 33 years of age. So I shall actually try and negotiate that. I'm probably not going to be able to negotiate much higher. But considering our budget isn't astronomical, perhaps an extra couple might be nice. I genuinely will only be asking for an extra couple of million though, because of his age. They might meet that, and indeed they will. That's good news. Borja Valero looks like he might be on his way to the Premier League. Now, it's going to be a case of, thankfully, the league season doesn't start until the end of August, so we do have the opportunity to bring some players in before the start of the season, rather than having to perhaps muddle our way through the opening couple of games of the Serie A season under strength. Nangolan immediately off the mark in that cam roll in the 11th minute to give us a 1-0 lead. Then Mauro Icardi from the spot. I have used Icardi previously in FIFA 19 at Chelsea in the Achieve and Leave. We signed him there and he was very good. Kind of similar in stats to Harry Kane. Not amazingly fast, but still quick enough, and with a great shot and superb finishing. That's a really, really good 4-1 win there against Bayer Leverkusen. I'll admit I wasn't expecting to be quite that dominant against them. I thought they'd be the best side in this group. Real Sociedad, Valero is gone, and a transfer offer for Burnley as well that I shall just accept. There's no point haggling over an extra £10,000 or so. So Sociedad have actually beaten Bournemouth here. That was unexpected, I'll be honest. I thought Bournemouth hammered them as well by 4-0. I certainly expected Bournemouth to be better than that in a game against Real Sociedad. But clearly the Spaniards proving to be too good for them. They're 1-0 up against Leverkusen, although Baumgartlinger's just equalised for the Germans. Politano's given us a 1-0 lead here as we head into the second half. Now Kevin Folland has given Leverkusen a 2-1 lead against Bournemouth. Politano with a second before Oyarzabal pulls one back for Real Sociedad. 15 minutes to go, we're on course. Politano with a hat-trick. Well then, I'm certainly looking forward to using him then if he's going to be that effective in simulated games. He could be quite the player for us. Not interested in international management in this save, to be completely honest, at this stage. Maybe later down the line, but I'm not really feeling international management. Bournemouth have lost 3-2 to Leverkusen in that second friendly, so it looks like it's going to be either Leverkusen or Real Sociedad to join us in the next round. Icardi gives us a 1-0 lead here against Bournemouth, and it looks like we might be able to get straight 3 wins from 3, which should be a great start. Shering gets himself sent off. It's not the strongest of lineups, as you can tell from Bournemouth there. They're certainly not starting there or anywhere near their strongest starting lineup, so perhaps that's why they're not doing so well in pre-season. Icardi still banging the goals in. Politano chipping in again as well. Very pleased with that. That will give us a nice boost to transfer talks broke down, but that's fine. Oh, Di Gennaro, he was the other goalkeeper, wasn't he? Yes, Raffaele Di Gennaro. We'll accept that. He could go to Parma. Apparently, there's quite the relationship between Inter Milan and Parma with regards to loaning players. There's already a couple already there. 1.76 million added to the transfer boost, or transfer budget, to boost the transfer budget. Thanks to that group stage progression. We'll reject that bid for Vecino. He's going to stay, certainly, for the time being. I'm going to need the depth at the very least, let alone the improvements that will hopefully come via your suggestions. Di Gennaro has gone. An offer for D'Ambrosio. I shall reject that. I want to keep him at the club for the time being. He's going to be relatively important with regards to squad rotation for this first season at least. And then obviously with Vasalco and then Cedric moving on, maybe he'll be important next season as well. I'd like to think Alaves we could get a good win against. 1-0 up here after 12 minutes. 2-0 up thanks to Mauro Icardi just for half-time, although they do pull one back. Then Icardi extends the lead again. I don't yet have a thumbnail for this series. You can probably tell from your sub box it doesn't look like a normal thumbnail from me. I only asked Joe for the thumbnail yesterday, if I'm being completely honest, so I obviously didn't expect him to be able to turn that around for me at such a short notice. But once a thumbnail is available from Joe, then I will update the thumbnails throughout the series. An extra 3 million added to the budget there, and now we have Leverkusen again in the final. We've beaten them once. Let's try and beat them again to give ourselves the maximum amount of money. Oh, bloody hell, what start to the game. A penalty from Folland and then Vasalco after 2 minutes. Christ. Yes, so I shall edit the thumbnail sooner rather than later, but I didn't want to rush Joe for a thumbnail, nor did I want to delay the series, so I'll alter it sooner rather than later, and then we can crack on. But for now, hoping that we can get a second goal here to get victory and the full 8.6 million. Miranda's come off the bench and then gotten himself sent off. Looks like it's going to be penalties. No! Politano really making a name for himself in pre-season here. It's a number of goals for him. Really, really pleased with the way that he stepped up to the plate. That's been superb. Have a look at stats. Goals. 5 goals for Icardi, 5 goals for Politano. Wow, really pleased with that. I was hoping he'd be good, but I wasn't expecting that much, I'll be honest. Miranda's out for 2 matches thanks to his straight red card. 3.78 million added to the budget there. So I'm probably not going to advance much further because we don't have anyone else we want to sell, and I don't want a potential target that you guys are going to suggest to actually end up signing for someone else before we have the opportunity to sign them. So 67.4 million, 242,000 available wage-wise as well. I really need to improve this team. You guys need to come through for me here. It's going to be very important. Let me know who I can sign in central midfield, who I can sign at wing-back potentially, who I can sign at winger potentially, and then would you like me to use sliders or not, basically. That's going to be all for episode 1 though. Episode 2 will continue tomorrow. What day are you seeing this? Monday. The Achieve and Leave series will be on stream tomorrow, Tuesday. So follow the link in the description to my Mixer channel and you'll be able to watch Achieve and Leave on stream tomorrow. I'll be tweeting out as well, letting you know when I'm going to go live. Probably be later in the afternoon. So make sure you follow me on Twitter as well on the link down below. But for now, really excited to get going here at Inter. Very, very pleased with the way pre-season went. And hopefully, Politano might turn out to be a bit of a star to the series. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much for watching episode number 1. I will see you in episode number 2 tomorrow. Take care.